Jake Gyllenhaal, our guy. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I'd say I'm a fan, and he stars in The Guilty, uh, a remake of the Danish or Swedish?
Danish
Danish.
film from 2018 that was shortlisted for the Best International Feature Film, but not nominated.
And it's pretty much Gyllenhaal, a few other people that you see who are in the 911 dispatch, and then all these voice actors, some pretty famous voice actors at that. And Gyllenhaal is basically a ex-cop who is, removed from being a cop for we don't know why until the very end, and he gets, he's being a 911 dispatcher to stay close to his work in some way, and he gets really sucked into this abduction call, or what he thinks is an abduction call, and the movie details his experience in trying to help this woman that he believes has been abducted. I think the concept's really interesting. From what you shared with me prior, Dave, I think this is not as good as the original. I haven't seen the original. I know you have. Um, it was entertaining, but overall, just kind of didn't work for me totally. I don't know. We'll get into that more. But did you like it? Did you not?
Yeah, so I would recommend the original, which is available right now on Hulu. And the reason I'd recommend the original over this English remake is because I think the tension is just more consistent in the original iteration, and our central performance is more in sync with the drama of the story. I think Jake takes it a little too far, honestly, and part of that's the script, like some subtle tweaks to make it more dramatic, but it's plenty dramatic in its original incarnation, and I actually think it's more harrowing as a result. Jake kind of like is off his rocker a little bit towards the end of this, and it just didn't feel the way it should have been, because for the most part, there's a lot of like word for word lines throughout a lot of this movie, especially the first hour, and hearing them watching that after just recently seeing the original, it's like, oh well, this feels like a karaoke of sorts to me, you know. And I really hope the Another Round English remake with another Denmark film, I really hope that doesn't go this route if they do in fact make that remake, because I mean the original is really really good as it is. I think the key twist that happens in the story when you learn something more about the nature of the call, that really lands in the original film. And uh, how do you think it landed for you here? Because like for me, I knew it was coming, so it's a little different. But how did you feel that was handled in this one?
I feel like it fell a little flat, honestly, and also I felt like it was a bit telegrammed. It was a sort of thing where it felt way too straightforward, throughout the movie for that to just be how things were going to go. So I kind of expected some sort of twist. I have to say, probably the scene that was most effective for me was when he was on the phone with the cops as they entered the home of the abducted people, or the supposed abducted, and then they're responding to seeing a child in distress. That really hit home in this, but I didn't think the twist landed so well. Did you?
No, I what you would say when the cop call there you just referenced. I think that actually works really well in the original because there's no like background noise where you like hear the cops barging in and like talking to themselves and like freaking out and like through the phone. You don't hear any of that. It's like just like silence and like the the dispatcher is just like asking like what's going on. So I think that again the tension just highlighted more because you're even more at arm's length as a viewer than the original one. So yeah, I mean, it's a funny movie to remake, I guess, because on one hand it's like really simple film to make because it's all dialogue in one set, you know. Um, so I understand why it was remade. It's easy enough. Antoine Fuqua and Jake G. That'll get it done. That they can get this thing made. But I guess like creatively, there's nothing like added to it. If anything, I think this is just a lesser version. So it's it's not. I guess it's not offensive, but it's just kind of you know unceremoniously mediocre.
Yeah, I have to say, out of the voice cast, I really thought that Divine Joy Randolph really brought a lot of what you're talking about in terms of the original. Because every time she got on as the CHP dispatcher, she was like so slow and like quiet when how she first answered. It kind of gave this very like eerie feeling. I thought she was probably the best voice acting. I appreciated our guy Eli Gorey getting
Mhm.
uh, some shine in this. Getting a pretty meaty voice role as Rick. And did you recognize Ethan Hawke's voice when he
I did. I
popped
actually
up and
thought that
stuff?
was a little distracting, to be honest.
Interesting.
Again, because I kind of knew what that character was. But yeah, I did
Yeah,
catch that.
I recognized it, but I couldn't place it until I looked it up. Who was distracting to me was Bill Burr as the nightclub caller. He was just like so
Yeah.
obviously Bill Burr. I was like, okay, this is quite a bit.
Honestly,
Uh,
so many of those early lines are verbatim. The only thing they change is like locations in the city. Uh, was it Copenhagen, the LA? Like other than that, it's like the same issues, the same types of calls, the same lines from the dispatcher. It's like all like word for word. It's kind
did
of
they have
funny.
the wildfire too, or was that
No, so
just
that's
that?
obviously an
Yeah,
LA
right.
creation. I
Okay,
think
so I
you
thought.
know in the original it's just like really foggy when they're trying to find the
Gotcha.
van. But it's the same thing. It's like white or silver. It's like the same answer,
Yeah.
but it was just like
Jeez.
foggy and at night, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like a movie that didn't need to be remade as an English movie, but hey, it's what we do. Uh, not Jakey G's best, but like you said, it was probably cheap to make, so they were Netflix always gonna take that on.
I
Why
mean,
don't we
they
move
make
on?
like what 100 movies a year. They make the most movies of anyone, so they
Yeah,
gotta get them in.
exactly.